to Similarly Different. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Similarly Different. On this week's episode, we have a reoccurring guest. I don't even want to say she's a guest. She's just like another limb of mine that I put to use sometimes for the show.
Co-host.
It's giving a co-host that has a busy life, but like, you know, like she's just like one that you guys, I feel like whenever Jamie is on the show, you guys relate to her. You guys like our dynamic together. You know, for the people that say on Spotify specifically that I don't let people speak, she speaks and I speak. And then she asks me questions, guys. We love that. So that, like, you know, we can have a conversation. So I've been filming a lot. And when I hit her up, I was like, hey, girl, want you back on the show. What should we talk about? She started. I was like, stop it. I want to talk about it. But I think that while we talked about feminine and masculine energy, if you haven't heard that episode, you should definitely go watch it. It's a really good episode. We've also talked about Valentine's Day, our icks and loves in Valentine's and what we want for ourselves, as well as self-love in Valentine's Day season. And long and behold, today we're going to be talking about transitions, because Miss Lady over here that's going to speak in, I promise, 15 seconds, is about to be the big 4-0, which we talked about in the Valentine's Day episode. And I just figure whether it's transition, age, work, season, you probably can relate to some point of this episode. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jamie Lee Ruiz back to the show. Yeah! ASMR. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You look very sage green today, very pretty.
It's giving grounded and earthy because Virgo season's coming, and
how many days till your birthday?
I don't know, like 20-ish?
When's your actual birthday?
September 4th.
Okay.
Like Beyonce.
Oh, okay. This is airing a day after your birthday.
That's crazy.
You better be real, because if your mind has changed by September 5th, girl, you weren't honest on this podcast.
This is my birthday episode.
This is your birthday episode. Look at that. We are doing a birthday episode for Jamie because we love her so much, and I just want to honor her on her birthday.
So sweet.
So let's start off with the fact that you've been doing a 40-day challenge. Where did that come about?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're just going to get right to it.
I mean, do you want if the people don't know you, they should go back and watch, but I don't think we need to know, like, you're, you know, she's a Virgo.
So I started it's not a challenge, but like a posting.
You're like a vlogger now?
No, it's like
it's like Vlogmas.
Like a series. Like
okay.
a series.
Series.
I started a series called 40 Days of Things That Bring Me Joy Before I Turn 40. And it'll end on my 40th birthday. And the reason why I started this is because I am in a transitional phase in my life where, like, everything that has resonated for me up until this point just, like, no longer does. Like, the things I was doing, the ways I was making money, parts of my career, parts of my business, some friendship, just like everything that, like, has been like dream life and so aligned and resonated, just all of a sudden no longer does. And I'm like, okay. And it's so clear and loud and evident that, like, it is no longer in alignment. It's almost like a switch went off where it's like, and that's not your life anymore.
Okay, question. I feel like sometimes people may not be that in tune, self-aware. Maybe they're just never have been led to the path of self-discovery within self. So what is misalignment to you, and give us like a straight shooter example? This happened, which made me realize I'm not aligned in that.
It's just like, I am super intuitive and my intuition is everything to me. And I've worked really hard to be able to hear my intuition and know that it's my truth or my not truth coming through, and worked really hard to listen to it and take action based off my intuition and not off of like logic or what the society is telling you.
Sorry, that's a trigger word for me now, but continue.
Okay, we could talk about that if you want.
No, we're not.
So I'm intuitive, and my intuition shows up in lots of different ways. And like, it's like, sometimes it's just like a knowing, like a switch goes off and it's like, that's not for you. And I just know that. And sometimes it's a feeling where I'm like doing something that it usually brings me joy or usually is in alignment. And I'm like, this is off.
Okay, I want to know more though.
Okay.
So was it in a friendship, or was it in business? Was it
It's in everything.
No, but I want
specific.
I want an example.
Sure. There are some friendships that
Really? Oh, I didn't know this. A man's borderline?
Oh my God, shook. Some friendships that I've had to like let go of because they no longer felt aligned. And it's not like anything specific that like this person has done. It just like, I just don't feel aligned with you anymore, and like where I'm going and what I want for my life and what I want for friendships. Like,
did that come from an outing of reconnecting, or not even reconnecting, but just like an outing and you felt drained afterwards? Was it after a phone conversation? Was it something you saw?
You know what it is? It's like something that like has been in existence for a long time. It's just like I'm now in a place where I'm doing so much work on myself, and my awareness is heightened, my intuition is heightened, and I can't not see it or hear it or feel it anymore.
You mean you can't ignore it anymore?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
I can't ignore it anymore. So like everything is so evident.
Yeah.
So it's like things that have been like lingering and like whispering for a long time, and I've just not necessarily been ignoring or avoiding, but like it wasn't as clear or as loud as it is now. And it's just like, oh, okay, I get it. I see it. I can't do this anymore. I can't say yes to this anymore. I can't choose this anymore. It's just like, and I tried. So I'll give you another example.
Story time.
I'll give you another example. I teach Sacral Sunday, which is like a sexy dance class that you've been to. It's like,
I actually know the story. You told me the story, but
yeah, it's kind of like spiritual mixed with like sensuality. Anyways, love teaching that. And I haven't been able to teach it because of my work schedule. But recently, because I'm like in this transition, I have all this time. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like I'm going to teach a Sacral Sunday. And I put up a flyer, I put up a link, I promoted it, I booked the dance studio. And it started to feel like I had some resistance towards it. And I was like trying to ignore it because I'm like, no, I love Sacral Sunday. Like, what do you mean?
What is resistance for you though? Because I can tell you what my version of resistance is, but I'd like to know other people's.
It just feels like I'm doing something because I should do it and not because I genuinely want to or because it genuinely feels aligned. It's like I need to do it because I already said that I was going to do it, or I need to make money, so I need to do it. I should do it. But like I don't genuinely feel like I want to, or it doesn't really excite me, or it doesn't feel like a fuck yes. It feels like a I guess I'll do this. I guess I'll push through even though it doesn't fully feel aligned at the moment.
Okay.
So that was kind of happening with me as I decided to do the Sacral Sunday recently. And I'm like, that's so weird that I feel off about this because I usually love this.
Yeah, you would be excited for it.
Yeah, and I'm just like, no, it's okay. I'm going to push through. I already announced it. Some people have already bought spots. Then I got woken up like 2 days before Sunday. So like Friday going into Saturday, I got woken up at like 2 a.m, literally like out of my bed, and it was just like a very loud and clear message. You can call it God, you can call it the universe, you could call it my intuition, whatever you want to call it. I hear it. And it was like, go grab your laptop and disable the link, and you're not teaching Sacral Sunday. Like you
missed one part of your story.
What was it?
You tried to come up with choreography.
Oh, you're right. Night before I got woken up at 2 a.m, I tried to choreograph it. I'm like, okay, this is happening Sunday, I need to get this going. I tried to choreograph. I could not come up with one move. Like not one. It just was not happening for me. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go to sleep. Get woken up at 2 a.m. Go disable the link. You're canceling, reimburse people who have signed up. And I'm just like, okay. I got up at 2 a.m, which I hate waking up in the middle of the night. It's a big pet peeve. Not even to pee. Like I'll hold it. I grab my laptop. Like when I open, I'm like, disable link. The next day I reimbursed people. I canceled the dance studio. And it's just like, not to say that I won't ever teach a Sacral Sunday again, but it's just what I'm transitioning that I'm going through right now is to listen to God, listen to my intuition of like only doing what feels fully aligned. And so it's showing me things that don't feel fully aligned so that I can stop doing them and not force myself through things just because I should. Do you know what I mean?
I think there's a big difference too for anybody listening or watching between listening to your intuition of whether this is in alignment with you or not, and not making the excuse of that it's not in alignment out of laziness.
Totally.
And I think
which I've done before.
Yeah, and I think the unawareness of knowing which is either or could sometimes happen, but age, experience,
totally,
and truly I think checking off a handful of things in your success or track that you were trying to go to is when then you're able to sit and being like, also, what am I doing this for? At times it could be, I'm doing this for ego, I'm doing this for self, and I'm not doing this because it actually is bringing me a purpose to the next step in my life where I'm supposed to go towards. So I think like just a little antidote of that.
Totally. And I think that like I've messed up in like knowing what was my intuition and what wasn't, or if it was just being lazy and calling it my intuition. I have messed up before, and people always ask me like, how do I get better at listening to my intuition and trusting it and hearing it? I go, it's just real trial and error. Like, you're gonna mess up, you're gonna get it wrong, and in hindsight you'll know, and you'll go, oh, okay, I can see now in hindsight that wasn't okay. Cool, next time, like, I'll do a little better, or I'll have more practice in knowing what it truly feels like. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of it, I always say, lead as long as I feel peace afterwards. A lot of the times when you make really tough decisions, whether they're career decisions, whether they're life decisions, ending a friendship, relationship, leaving a job, finally putting in your resignation, or even firing somebody, cutting ties with somebody that has been in your life for so long that you're like, you know that whole quote? It says if somebody's in your life for over 7 years, they're meant to be in your life forever. I actually don't believe in that.
I've never even heard that, and I already feel like that's not necessarily true.
Yeah, I see that quote a lot, and I don't necessarily believe. I think it's great if you're able to go through people with different evolutions and times and versions of yourself, but it's also okay if you've had a friendship of plus 7 years and it ends. Is it gonna hurt? Yeah. I personally think friendships hurt more at times than relationships, like the ending of it.
I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, when you're at your wit's end, it's at your wit's end. But if something like really hurt or they hurt you, like sometimes it could like hurt. I've had like 1 or 2 friendships where I was like, oh, that hurt. And then I've dealt with like a guy for like, I don't know, like last summer that I really didn't care. Once I was like over with, I was like, don't miss you. I actually realized like,
it
dang,
just depends on the relationship,
you know?
And like how connected you were, I guess.
Yeah. So
but like romantic breakups really get me.
Yeah.
They really take me down.
I mean, they really take me down, but I don't like people that often. That's why.
That's exactly what it is. It's like I rarely like people, so when I do, I'm in it, and when it ends, it's like the world is ending for me.
Yeah. Okay, anyways, let's get out of relationships. Anyways, moving on to another thing.
I'm like, should I take control of this interview?
Yeah. This is not an interview. This is a conversation.
It could be one.
No, we don't need an interview. I'm going to say one thing. And hopefully we can move on from this, guys. Every relationship in your life, whether it be business, personal, family, or romantic, is a relationship. If you interact with a person, it doesn't matter whether it's a week, a month, a year, or 10 years or plus. Not all of them work out. You don't always get it right. The alignment doesn't always work.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
They're not all meant to last forever.
And it could be a fairy tale in the beginning, and it could just fall out of place for whatever reason. You could put it back on the track and it'd be a nice little train, or it could have just fallen off the tracks, and I don't freaking know. Anyways, yeah, guys, it didn't work out. Moving on to the next thing. All right.
Got it.
Jesus Christ.
Got it. Noted.
Okay, so how did you start the 40 days though? Like, what light turned on without you switching it on that you were like, oh, I gotta do this?
So I don't necessarily want to talk about this because this could be a whole episode. But remember, I went to the Vipassana retreat, which was the 10-day silent retreat.
Yes. And if you guys have any questions about this retreat and truly want to know, I will make an episode about this because it was really cool, hard for her to go through. But she went to
a 10-day silent retreat, a Vipassana retreat.
A silent retreat is where you don't freaking talk.
You don't talk for 10 days. You don't even talk to other people or make eye contact with other people. And you are just in meditation for 10 hours a day, 10 days in a row. Insane. Anywho, that changed a lot of things for me. I got back from that retreat and I was like, that's when I was like, nothing is in alignment anymore. So I knew very clearly everything that was a no for me. Like, this is a no, this is a no, this is a no, this is a no, this is a no. Cool. What the fuck is a yes though?
Right.
And like for the first time in my life, I felt like I was like getting rid of all the things that felt like no's when I didn't have a safety net of what I wanted to do next. Do you know what I mean? Like this job, this career path is a no. Cool, done. But what is a
How
yes?
did that not give you a crash out?
Oh, I've had many crash outs.
Okay, because I would crash out with the fact of like, so I'm supposed to let go of all this. Where the hell am I supposed to go?
Exactly. But again, I'm listening to my intuition. I'm trusting myself, God, the universe, source. And it's literally so clear to me that I have to let these things go. They're not in alignment. And I'm like, okay. And it just became this like chapter of my life of like trust and surrender, like real trust and surrender. Because it's like I'm letting go of a lot of things with no path of what's next for me, right? So like my business doesn't feel in alignment. The dance and choreography things that I've been doing don't feel in alignment. Living in LA doesn't fully feel in alignment.
Really?
But I don't like, okay, that
Yeah.
I can't really take action because like, where am I going to go? I don't know. But like all of these things feel like no's, but I don't know what is a yes. So I'm just in this trust and surrender. And every day I'm having conversations with God and I'm just like, I'm trusting, I'm surrendering, because also like I'm the girl that's like, I take care of myself. I got to pay my rent, my bills. Like,
Right.
what do you mean I'm not supposed to do all these things? How am I going to pay my rent at the end of the month? And it's just like trust and surrender, trust and surrender. And I'm like, okay, I'm trusting, I'm surrendering, I'm trusting, I'm surrendering. And every day was like meeting more trust and more surrender. And it's been insane. But I'm learning to really like trust and surrender in the unknown, right? And I feel like I'm in this valley, right? Where it's like, this has been my life over here. And now I'm in this valley and like my next chapter of my life is over here, but I'm not there yet. I'm here in this like unknown, just like nothingness, which is amazing because it's a blank slate. Anywho,
You come back from the retreat.
I come back
The
from the
light
retreat.
moment.
I know everything that's a no. I don't know what's a yes. So in that, I'm just like, okay, what's my plan though? Because I can't just sit here and do absolutely nothing. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pray a lot. I'm gonna meditate a lot. I'm gonna sit with myself. I'm gonna, go where I'm guided. And I was guided to follow joy because there's two things that I hear all the time, but have never felt like safe for me. One of them is when you follow joy and you do the things you love, like you will be, the money will come, right? That always felt like great in
Hindsight?
no, in logically, or like that theory sounds amazing. And I have always done things that I've loved, but like not just like following joy and like, oh, I like to do this, so I'm just gonna follow this thing that I like to do and somehow I'll be taken care of and compensated. Like that feels scary. You have to have a plan, you know what I mean? So I'm experimenting with following the joy and allowing myself to be compensated somehow. And the other one is you get it's like an affirmation that I always hear, that I always like and resonate with, but never felt safe to trust, which is I get paid for being myself. And I really want to experiment with just being myself and seeing how the universe and God will compensate me for that. So I'm in this experiential place right now of just like being myself and following joy and allowing like life to provide for me, God to provide for me. And that's where the series came in. And I'm just like every day finding things that bring me joy, and it's causing me to intentionally choose joy every day. And then I'm having to create content around joy, which is a whole other thing. But it's bringing compensation to me in like really cool different ways. So that's where the series came.
Okay. And have you found it hard to be able to film every day something that brings you joy? How do you deal with that?
I just, I'm like, if I don't have something, like I go find something that brings you joy. And it could be the smallest thing. Like the other day I was like, what am I going to do today? Like the whole day has gone by and I didn't record anything. I didn't do anything. And I'm like, I had a coaching call today and that actually brought me a lot of joy. And I have a picture from that coaching call. So I'm going to post that, and that's going to be enough because that's my joy.
I think there's something really special in just that statement, and even understanding that joy doesn't have to be something so grand. We can, and we see it all the time, right? We see it in quotes. We see it in people telling us, like, there's even, I sometimes write 3 things that bring me joy the moment I wake up. And we forget how the little things we could take into account as, wow, this brought me joy, and mention it, check it off in our brain to really live a more peaceful life, a more grateful life too. I think that as I've gotten older, I have become more grateful to the small things in life. And like, listen, I was an ungrateful mother effer growing up as a teenager, but I don't think it's because I was genuinely an ungrateful person. I just wasn't wise in that category of life yet.
Well, no one ever taught us, at least for me, taught me about gratitude and how important that was, and to be grateful and to intentionally like speak about things that you're grateful for and focus on those things. Like no one ever taught me that.
Well, I think you're raised to be grateful for the food that you have, grateful for the bed that you're in, grateful that you have more than other people. There's people that always have it worse than you, but I think there's really a big missing component of be grateful of these things and how it can help you flow, it can fill you, and then in that then you're able to see the wider spread of things, you know. And I think that like even for myself, when I shift the narrative and was able to be like, oh wow, like yeah, I went through this, or yeah, I went through that, or yeah, my life is here, there, wherever, but I have this, but I have that, but I really love seeing a little kid smile. I really love, is that going to mean that $1 million is going to be in my bank account? No, but just being able to see that moment and capture it and like categorize it in my brain as something that made me smile today really does shift the wiring of how you feel.
Yeah, it just raises your frequency and your vibration. If you're like choosing joy, then it's like, and you're focusing on joy, then that's you can't like choose and focus on joy and be miserable and focus on lack and fear at the same time. So it's like, if I'm choosing and focusing on joy as often as possible, that other stuff doesn't get my attention. I'm raising my vibration, I'm raising my frequency, I'm becoming an energetic match for more joy. I'm focusing on it and I'm attracting it all at the same time.
Do you think that also like going into your 40s and doing this challenge has helped you be more not optimistic, but kind of being able to see things that you normally would disregard?
You know what it's done for me? It's because, you know, I like to be alone. I love to be alone. I love to be home. I love to like not go to things. And a lot of the times, yes, like I'm a homebody. I love to be home. But a lot of times it's like me getting in my own way and being like, ugh, I don't feel like being around people. Ugh, like, I don't feel like, whatever, you know, whatever the narrative is. And because I have committed myself to this and I'm like, ugh, I need content. When someone invites me somewhere now, if it feels aligned, I go because I'm like, this might be somewhere where I can find joy. And if it does bring me joy, I can create content around it and I can continue my journey of choosing joy and posting about it. And like, I just find myself attracting these opportunities of like people inviting me places, or like brands reaching out to me to invite me to this event, or someone gifting me this free workout, whatever. And I'm just like, cool. And I'm saying yes more. And it's just attracting more goodness into my life.
But I think also the key point is being able to truly step and feel that joy rather than just saying it. Because I think a lot of the times what I see in certain people is that they're like, oh, I'm chasing joy. And I was like, who are you trying to convince? Because I don't believe it. Like, you truly have to feel it. You truly have to put yourself out there. I know that like at times, obviously emotions, mental health is very real. I deal with it. I've dealt with it my whole life. But you get nothing out of telling me that you live a happy life if you truly live a miserable life at the end of the day and when you close that door. Because I may not see that. I may not be looking to inspect, is she really happy? But I don't even have to inspect when I can feel it. I can sense it, because you're naturally trying to do things to not only expand but find that joy in your frequency. So do you think like turning 40, do you think if you weren't turning 40 you would still be on this journey, or do you think it's the right time now because you're turning 40?
I think it's just like all synchronistically aligned together, like in this beautiful combustion of randomness that's happening. But I think also that it's not talked about enough, like what happens when you turn 40. And I'm only knowing that now because I'm about to, and talking to other people that have like recently turned 40. Everyone's like, no, it's a thing. It happens when you turn 40. Like, first of all, everyone says like that's where your life truly starts. And I recently watched a podcast, can't tell you whose it was, but they were like, everything before 40 is research. It's literally research. You're learning, you're discovering, you're healing, all these things. And like 40 is like where things just take a turn and you get to like actually live this life that you've created yourself to be able to live.
Yeah, I also heard from the Kardashians that when you turn 40 is the woman's most sexually heightened season of their life.
I'm here for that. I'm ready to express that.
What are you looking for? Are you looking for a man? Because you're looking around.
I'm all, anyone? Hello.
How has dating changed for you now going into your 40s than it was before?
I'm more clear on what I want, and I can like stand on that 10 toes down, right? Where I think like before it's like, I want that, but like, is it okay for me to want that? Is it okay for me to say that I want that? Is it okay for me to show that I want that? What will people think of me if I want that? I don't know. I'm just like so clear on what I want, and I'm not afraid to own that. And I just think like I'm less available to accept anything that is not that, which is like a blessing and a curse. Because it's like, I'm like, you know, have you ever played that game like Fruit Ninja? Where it's like,
Oh yeah, the slicing.
that's me. I'm just like, no, 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 no. Like, no. But then you stay single because you say no to everything. But also it's like, I just know what I want, and I know that I am worthy of it and deserving of it, and I know that I get to have it. So anything that's not that, I'm okay to say no to.
What is 3 things that you're going into that you want in a partner that you didn't want before you were 40? It should be at the top of your list, girl.
I just think that I've always wanted these things. I'm just now owning that I want these things.
Okay, so
Does
say
that make
it.
sense?
Say it with your chest.
Okay. Like a provider.
Okay.
I want a provider.
Financial stability.
Yep. I do. I really do want that. Not to say that I'm not going to make my own money. I am. But like just knowing that like someone just has me in that way would be like the most amazing feeling on the planet.
Okay. 1.
Okay. Someone who, like, I'm looking for like a safe masculine container. Okay, this is how I see it. The masculine is like a safe container. When I say container, like think of like Tupperware or like a ball, something that
I
can,
don't know why I thought of like those alien movies where they go inside the capsules and they're just like laying back and they have all these liquids inside of them.
Sure. Think of a container, something that holds something inside. So for me, a safe masculine is a container where I can be inside and I'm like water. I'm like flowy. I have all these emotions and I have all these ideas, and sometimes I'm sad and sometimes I'm excited and sometimes I'm on my period and emotional, but I'm just like in there, just like flowing and floating around, and like this safe masculine container is holding all of me no matter what form or shape or mood I'm in. And not to say that that gives me a pass to be a bitch. That's not what I'm saying. But like he can hold me in all my feminine expressions.
Okay. And 3rd?
And 3rd, I'm like, where do I want to go? What's the 3rd one? I want like someone who sees me as their best friend and like wants to hang out with me and wants to spend a lot of time with me.
You want a life partner.
Yes, totally. But even like I see some people that have life partners and like the man's like over there like doing things like with the boys and, you know, with the boys and all these things. And I'm just like, I don't want that. I want my partner and I to like be best friends where it's like, I want my girl to come. I want my girl to come, and I want my girl to be with me, and no matter where I'm going or what I'm doing, and not in like a clingy way, not in a toxic way. Like we just love each other's company so much. We're best friends that like we want to do everything together.
I think
it's a healthy way.
I think there's a very clear line also of having a life partner that can have their own individuality, but that special moments or moments that you know are going to bring each other really big joy, you actually want that other person there to experience it with. That it doesn't have to be a second thought. It doesn't have to be like, am I going to be an estorbo, like a bother, or like, do they have to act differently, or do they have to, you know, keep tabs on me, or does the guy have to feel like, oh, I have to make sure she's okay because she's coming with me, or does the girl have to feel like I have to act or look a certain way because I'm in that environment and that's
like,
his
am I a burden
environment?
being here? Are you inviting me just because I'm your girl but you don't really want me here? Like I hate all of that. Been there, done that. I want someone to feel like I'm an asset to them, their lives. I want them to always, like, not always, but like want to be around my energy and just always have me a part of their lives. Like, I think that is doable in a really healthy way. And I want that because I've been in too many relationships where like I'm not always wanted around, and that doesn't feel good. So we're done with that.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Do you want to answer that question?
No.
Of like the 3 things that you...
No.
Okay.
Not really. So how are you feeling with the ability to sit in the no? Because you talked about friendships, and you talked about how you've had to cut off some friendships. And you also mentioned that now you're listening to your awareness and your
intuition.
I really want to say this, but it's so off, like, from this episode. Okay, real quick, parentheses, commercial break. I was watching Love is Blind UK last night, and this one guy is like, I have to really listen to my spleen. And like, he meant his intuition, but men or humans,
I don't think that's a thing.
it's cringe.
Okay, but listen.
Don't say your spleen, bro. Like, say, I just have to listen to my intuition, or I have to, have a conversation with self, have a conversation with God, see where I feel. This man would not stop talking about his spleen. I literally Googled, is talking to your spleen a religion? Because I was so confused.
No, but listen, do you know human design?
Yes.
Okay.
And he talks
I'm a
about
splenic projector.
But that's
so
your
my
intuition.
knowing comes from my it comes into my spleen.
I know that. I know that. I know that your intuition is like listen, I am a person that if I am sad, mad, happy, whatever, I instantly feel nauseous if it's a negative thing, and I instantly get goosebumps, like I can't sleep, like it's literally what I've been going through. But I'm not gonna call it my spleen. I think,
but it's a thing. That's why he's saying it.
I just can't. But
it's fine.
Right
you
now,
don't like it.
Yeah. Right now, when we were talking, and I wanted to tell you, like, oh, what in your intuition, whatever. My brain kept saying, say spleen, say spleen, say spleen. It just sounds so silly.
It would have landed for me because I'm a splenic projector.
I understand that my organs are very much connected to my emotions, and not everyone is like that. But I do know from anxious, depressed, angry, like the way my internal system instantly, I just think that the whole spleen situation is weird. But into your intuition, what do you feel now with like the friendships, for example? Because we went into it and then like not ran away from it, but we jumped into something else. When it comes to friendships, I think this is something that I actually get DM'd about a lot, which is the breaking and the cycle of a friendship. I actually had somebody recently reach out to me. Her whole thing was that when it comes to friendships, she had a friendship fallout that was over 10 years. And over one disagreement, she didn't even know she affected the other person in a negative way. And instead of the person after 10 years talking to her about it, they literally cut her off. And I said, babe, I understand that this really hurts you, but just so you know, sometimes this was the end of the friendship for a reason, and you were supposed to gain something from it. I understand that you maybe didn't get closure that you wanted, or that you would have given her if the case would have been the other way. And I told her, I said, you're allowed to mourn the friendship, but understand so deeply, and this is so hard to fully grasp, I think, when you're on the other aspect of you, because you're in the aspect of, I can take this relationship out. But sometimes even realizing that friendship doesn't no longer align can feel kind of saddened. So when you feel like you had to let go of these friendships, was it based off a conversation after hanging out with them that you felt drained? What was an aha moment for anybody that may be questioning, am I just being hard on this person in my life, or did their time with me really wrap?
I will say where I can take accountability for my flaws in maybe some of my friendships not working out is that I maybe didn't speak up about things that bothered me, or things that I didn't like, or things that felt out of alignment, because I didn't have the awareness to have those conversations, or I didn't have the awareness to know that those things were bothering me the way that they did. And so unfortunately, this is me taking accountability. What happens is like that goes on for so long that I'm like showing up to this friendship that doesn't feel fully aligned, and I'm not liking some of the ways you make me feel. But again, I don't have the verbiage, I don't have the balls, I don't have the awareness to say anything about it, and I'm a people pleaser in friendships.
I was gonna say that sometimes it's also the fact of, if I mention this, is it gonna be too much? If I mention this, am I gonna sound annoying? Are they really gonna understand me, or am I gonna instantly be misunderstood and feel worse than I feel right now?
Totally. And like I realize I've been a people pleaser in friendships where like I have to show up for these friendships even when I didn't fully want to show up. So all of that's happening over long periods of time, and then what happens to me is like I'm healing, and bam, I have this awareness of like what no longer is alignment, and I'm like, I'm done. Do you know what I mean? And it's like maybe the friendship could have lasted if I would have like had the conversations about these things, but it gets to a point where it's like I don't even want to talk about these things anymore. I just am no longer available for them. So I'm done here, you know, and I'm finally realizing that like all of those things, could it have a different result if I would have talked about them as they were happening? Sure, but like that's just not the journey that I went on, you know? Do you know what I mean?
Are you moving into your 40s more of when something bothers you, you're going to mention it from the get-go? Because I think that goes in full-on relationships, whether it be a boundary you have with a family member, whether that be a relationship, you know, like I think that for me too, like I pick and choose what's really worth a fight if the fight comes from.
Totally.
And a lot of the times I push things under the rug, even like disagreements that I've had with Courtney in the beginning, you know, like where I felt like the communication wasn't all the way there and I just never wanted to mention it. But what would happen is after a few months, I would ask for a meeting and she would go into the meeting thinking I was going to cut ties with her. I would go into the meeting with like 15 bullet points. It's overwhelming for both people. So why not mention it when it's happening right then and there? And if there's no alignment, then you know from the get, rather than investing so much time, whether it be a romantic relationship, friendship, or business, and then it actually really breaking it apart.
It's like, do you want to give your car consistent oil changes
And tune-ups.
And make sure that it runs smooth and properly and lasts you a really long time? Or do you want to avoid that and then one day it just like dies kaput and you're like, well, there's that.
It's a total. It's what is it?
Total loss.
It's a total loss. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely going into my 40s like ready, willing, and capable of having the hard conversations earlier on. Like I'm just, that's definitely where I'm at. And I think that I got there when it comes to like men in relationships, which is why I play Fruit Ninja, because I'm like having the hard conversations from jump and their answers are like, oh yeah, we're good here, no. But I think that now I'm like stepping into having those conversations in friendships, which is, I don't know why it feels a little more uncomfortable for me.
Well, I think with friendships, the difference between a dynamic of a relationship of men and women and a friend is the vulnerability factor. The relationship, you grow in vulnerability after a certain time. In a friendship, you grow in vulnerability from the get. That's how you start building a friendship.
True.
You know? So I think that's why I said earlier, I think sometimes even those friendships have more of a mourning situation because you saw them as a sister, as a brother, as somebody that you didn't have to put up this facade of sexy, of perfect, of not an annoyance, of a nag, and out of nowhere, they just saw you for you. So I think even myself, or if you're listening and you're past 40 or under 40, I think I'm taking from this that you can take all these steps now and not have to wait until your 40s, but also take away the negative connotation of your 40s. And if you're past your 40s and you're listening to this, knowing that that mindset can start now. And I think it's a healthy mindset to start of starting to say no and be okay with it, trusting in life. And trusting does not mean sitting on your bed and just looking up at the sky, but like trying to figure out what is going to bring me joy today and who that is, and the discovery of that's going to have trial and error, but really holding yourself accountable for you to bring yourself joy rather than making it what is around you, who is around you, and their responsibility.
And one last thing I'll say, I think that a lot of people stay in situations that are not fully aligned because of fear, and like that it's really scary to let go of something that's not in alignment when you don't know what's next. You don't know if the safety net is there. You don't know, right? So a lot of people stay in a lot of things, relationships, jobs, careers, friendships, everything, because it's really hard and scary to let go of them when there's not a next thing there. And so what I'll say and what I'll encourage you all to do is like, I'm just one of the crazy ones that's willing to experiment and willing to learn to trust and willing to learn to surrender. And I think that like, that's why I am a life coach and a manifestation teacher, because I'm like one of the crazy ones that's willing to experiment with like the craziness of like, okay, no safety net, like, let's just see what happens. And when I get to the other side, I'm able to help other people do it and go through the process, because I was crazy enough to do it myself.
And I think that's what separates the people that say affirmations and don't ever truly believe it, and the people that say affirmations have a really hard time with it, have the hard time with the mirror work, have a hard time with facing the realities, have a hard time with letting go, but are truly saying, I'm fucking tired of this bullshit, that I'm really stepping into it, and one moment it just sprouts. And you're just like, oh, I feel different now. I see different now. Oh my God, I got this opportunity. I got this, I got that. And it's just
you're
like
crazy
so
enough to try. You're crazy enough to be honest with yourself. You're crazy enough to let go of the things that are out of alignment. Like you're like crazy enough to really do it.
And this is a good crazy.
And it's a good crazy. Like when that song was out, like, is somebody going to match my freak? I'm like, I posted something. I'm like, is somebody going to match my freak? Like, are you going to be crazy enough to like go after the life of your dreams, even when it's so hard and terrifying, you know?
Age ain't nothing but a number. So I hope you start today. Happy birthday, Jamie.
40, baby.
I don't know what to say. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Happy birthday to Jamie. When you watch this, her birthday would have been yesterday. So make sure to find her on social. Jamie Lee Ruiz, James Lee on IG.
James Lee 4.
James Lee 4 for September. For September 4. And until next time, you will see her again. If this is your first time seeing her, go back and check all the other episodes out. They're really good. Trust me, they're all my most viewed episodes. And I'll see you guys next time. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy 40th.